has the resources and all the things that he needs, and maybe he just needs the addition of some imagination and a nudge. Different, hey, step to the right a little bit, and what do you see? Oh, okay. And that was enough, and off they go. So it's almost the nursing approach to getting to wellness is doing just enough to help them, self-actualize and get through it and endure the pain of learning and healing and all that stuff. So skill problems, will problems, and then when it comes to the imagination problems, all it usually takes is just an additional perspective, an additional insight, and then right-sizing that in such a way that when I'm trying to guide my other students, I try to give them just enough so that they can do that themselves. So it's part of this gradual release of responsibility, gradual relinquishment of responsibility. Yeah, I can be the sage on the stage, but I'd rather be just the guide on the side, or I'd rather be the fellow journeyer down this path together, learning from each other, just like two people along the way. So it's like teaching a man to fish and giving him a fish and all that stuff. As Ron Swanson says in Parks and Recreation. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Don't give a man a fish. They're tasty and it's not that hard, Let him get his own fish. Feed your family. But yeah, so lack of imagination problems now can be, what's the minimum that I need to nudge you so you can see that, but how can I maybe even create conditions that encourage the development of more imagination, so the next time that you need a spark of imagination, you have more capacity to do that, because that turns out to be that you can actually train to be more creative. You can reliably create conditions in which the natural human curiosity is expanded. So you can actually teach innovation and create, like if you want to start a fire and this thing is generating sparks and it's just not, you can put gasoline and tinder on, you can create conditions under which that spark can burst into flames. So, and then the fourth problem is resources. Now, if Anthony were here and we were talking about resourcing, we'd usually say something like, in the Army and Department of Defense, there's a $750 billion annual budget. There are no resourcing problems. Only people that lack the skill to get the money or lack the skill to persuade people to reallocate to your project, which matters, or they lack the will to do it, or they lack the imagination to go about, how would I go about getting resources to solve this other problem? So and now to expand this to the rest of it, in a world of infinite abundance and opportunities and an extended network of collaborative learners, there's no lack of resources for getting things done. In fact, if you have good ideas and know how to get things done and simply need resources, and it's in support of honorable outcomes, the resources will find you because of your demonstrated excellence. And so you have to believe in that, and you have to live that way. And don't let lack of resources ever be a reason to accept the current state. Acknowledge it, but then skill, will, or imagination then helps you solve. So the resource problem is simply just a waypoint. Is so far, maybe it's just time or education or whatever. So that's what I want to say about those things, those kinds of problems. And so that's all part of the assessment. What kind of a problem do I actually have here? So when I'm teaching these guys to become organizational leaders, they want to be problem solvers. Got it, love it. That's what I love about you. You want to solve problems. But before you just jump right into action in the usual way, the knee-jerk response, and the first thing that comes to mind, and violently execute, and in the face of an obstacle, and just go harder, think twice, act once. Maybe we want to frame that problem to see what kind of a problem it is so that we have the right strategy to solve it. Oh, and before we even start framing that thing that we think is a problem, let's do this ecosystem survey, this little tour, this little mapping, this awareness of the environment. And let's problem find What's the most important problem to be working on? Let's find that. Find the root cause. Work on first principles, because if you solve that, then you have the greatest return on investment downstream. So problem finding precedes problem framing, which precedes problem solving in the usual way, and then it's plan, prepare, execute, and assess, and using those elements of feedback. And then just to seal the deal, the first piece of newness, I want to say, is the 5 ways of knowing. And so it's my current contention that there's the knowledge of the head, the rational knowing of things, the conceptual piece. There's the knowledge of the heart, which is the things that you know that you're working on and you're doing are connected to your mission and your purpose and the thing that you're aiming for into that future state. So the knowledge of the heart is that the things that you're learning in your head are really connected to your identity and your values and your purpose, and that gives you the strength and the will to keep going. And then the knowledge of the gut, which is that emotional, intuitive rat brain center, which is worried about risk and, oh, it's too hard, and friction and fear, and don't do that because of consequences. And so knowledge of the gut is the one that says, knowing that about myself, I have to have the knowledge that I can trust my intuition to get through the fear, that I have that feeling of certainty and that confidence. I got to be able to enlist those things and connect it to these other things so I can overcome the knowledge of the gut. And then there's sort of the knowledge of the hands, which is the how to put things into action. You know, how to take all of these things and then make things, make the tools, make the product, make the service, do the task to a standard that achieves the mission. So being able to put it into practice. And then there's the knowledge of the feet, which says, you know what, I might be able to make things with my hands, but having this thing made over here and just sitting on the shelf and it's beautiful, it's not where it needs to be. It has to get to where the work needs to be done and to support the people that need it or put it in their hands. And so this knowledge of the feed is the journey that we have to take, that we've integrated all this stuff. It has to go where it needs to go. It has to endure the journey and learn along the way and adapt and improvise. And only when we have perhaps integrated all 5 of these ways of knowing can we really say that we actually know that thing in order to make a difference. And the difference that we make is the fact that we're moving towards those goals or that mission or that bright future state. So it's not enough to conceptually grasp it. It's got to be connected to who you are as a person to deal with the reality of fear and greed and risk and persistence and resilience and, you know, the tough times. That's the emotional resilience, to keep going. And the reason you can keep going is, I got to climb these hills and when it's snowing, but it's in support of a thing that I know to be important, but I feel is who I am and why it must be done, that sense of selfless service to others, whatever your purpose is pulling you forward. And then these are the techniques. This is the skillful craft knowledge of actually getting stuff done. You got to be able to make good things. You got to be able to survive contact. So my hands got to be good. And then the knowledge of the feet, to do the journey, to get on with it and travel that distance. So those are the things that this Tortoise professional crafts knowledge ecosystem is really all about. Okay? So I want to take a short break there give us about 10 minutes to wander around, recharge my coffee mug, reflect on that stuff. I would like you to consider using this Cornell note-taking sheet system and take about just 10 minutes maybe. And so this is the technology of the modified Cornell note-taking system that leads to efficient and effective knowledge. So you would put maybe questions or insights from the prep work that you may have done would have been up in here, but this is there may not be anything in here. Maybe this is the intro, and then you might put the key words that really resonate, and then some of the top level concepts, and then good questions to ask you would put in the synthesis. And then in the action block is where later you would then say, here's what I'm going to work on as a consequence of this reflective learning. This is what I'm going to commit to taking action on later. So this is a note sheet that you do before, during, and after structured lessons. So you've done some prep work, and from that you either have moments of zen from the preparation, or there may be questions that just aren't really resolved, and then you go into the lesson, and that lesson has key words that are triggers that are essential. And then there might be, in the notes section, notes to self and processes or sketches or a model, or maybe a link to a deeper set of movies or slides or whatever. But that one page sort of captures the whole essence. So I would just entitle this one Lesson 1, Lesson 0, Introduction and Setting the Stage. So take 10 or 15 minutes, let's say 15 minutes, and start populating that note sheet, get a feel for it, reflect on what you heard and what it means, and we'll debrief that in a few minutes. Listen to why this thing is